Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be drafting a princess that bustier, armhole princess that bustier. So I'm going to start by marking my chest line, which I'm taking 8 inches, my bust point, my under bust, which is 14 and a half, and then my waistline, or what we call half length. So I'm just going to repeat my markings on the other side and just square out the lines. So after squaring out the lines, I'm going to take 7.5 inch for my shoulder measurements, which is 15 divided by 2. So before I do the next marking on the chest line, I just wanted to write out those lines so you don't get confused. So I'm just going to impute the same 7.5 inches on the chest line, and I'm going to connect the lines together. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take 4 inches, which is my bust span measurement. Bust span is your nipple to nipple. Mine is 8 inches, so 8 divided by 2 is 4. I'm going to mark that on the bust point, the under bust, and my waist. And I'm going to connect the lines with a straight line. The next thing we are going to do is I'm going to go up on my bust point by ½ inch and come down by ½ an inch. And then on the waistline, I'm going to take 1.5 inches. I'm going to take 2 inches, but I'm going to share that 2 inches. I'm going to take ½ inch towards the folded area and then 1.5 towards the other side. I'm going to repeat it on my under bust, and I'm just going to join the lines together. Next, the point where we took our ½ inch, I'm just going to curve that line. If you have a curve rule, which I don't have, you can just use that, but you can also use a free hand and just make it very smooth. The next thing we're going to do is to form our armhole. We're going to slant our shoulders by 1 inch, and then I'm going to look for half of that, which is 4, and then I'm going to come in by ½ an inch, and I'm going to take my bust measurement on my chest line. Now my bust measurement is 40 divided by 4, which is 10. So I'm just going to connect the line from that 1 inch slant, and then I'm just going to do a very smooth curve all the way to the chest line, like you see me do. So that place, now I'm going to go up, like just extend my line to the ½ an inch which I marked up earlier, blend my lines. I'm going to retake my armhole measurement from the slant mark which I took, and whatever I get, I'm going to find the midpoint and I'm just going to mark it. So guys, from that place where we marked the new midpoint, I'm just going to connect a curved line to meet that other line there. If you have a curved rule, please, I will advise you to use a curved rule. I don't have that, so that's why I'm using my free hand to do this, but it still came out nice. So I'm going to take ½ an inch on each side, and I'm just going to connect that back like you see me do, just like that. Please use a ruler or a curved rule to do this so that your lines will be very straight. Next thing, on the lower part where I took that ½ an inch, I'm going to extend it by 1 inch so that it's not going the other side of the bust here is not going to be shorter. Now we are going to curve it back to the chest line like you see me do, just like that. So I'm just going to put slashing lines on the part where we're going to cut, and I'm going to cancel the former armhole just so you don't make a mistake. So guys, on our chest line, I'm just going to measure where we took our dart. Whatever I get there, I'm going to replace it back. I'm going to go down to my waist, and then I'm going to take my waist measurement, and whatever that we took 2 inches. I'm just going to mark my waist measurement, replace the 2 inches, and then add 1.5 inch for allowance. I'm going to do the same on the bust side, and I'm just going to connect those 2 lines together. We're going to go over to our shoulder and mark 3 inches for our neck width. And then I'm going to come up by half an inch because I want this to be a V-neck. I'm going to connect that all the way to that area. And then I'm going to slant my shoulders. Next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to cut. So just watch the way I'm cutting and just cut your this thing. And I forgot, I always add half an inch at the shoulder measurement just so I can use it to sew on, you understand, as allowance for my shoulder. So just do well to add yours and just continue the cutting. So guys, this is how the front armhole braces that bustier looks like. So we're going to move to the back of the bustier. So I'm just going to mark my 1 inch allowance. I forgot to mark that before imputing my other lines, so don't forget to mark your 1 inch zip allowance. So I'm just going to remark my shoulders, which is 7.5. I'm just going to shift that armhole line that I marked and cancel the old one. The next thing we are going to do, I'm going to impute my 4 inches bust band. Please, I'm taking all my measurements from my zip line and not from the starting of my draft paper. I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to take half an inch on each side, and I'm going to go up my bust point by, you can go up by half an inch, you can go up by 1 inch. So I'm going to be going up by I think 1 inch. I'm going to be going up by 1 inch, and then I'm going to extend that line to that 1 inch mark, and I'm going to slant the line to connect that half an inch mark, which I have done. Next thing we're going to do is to impute our bust measurement, and then also I'm going to impute my waist measurement. Impute my waist measurement, and don't forget the 1 inch allowance you removed, replace it, and then add your 1.5 inch sewing allowance, and then I'm just going to connect that line together. Next, we're going to form our armhole. For the back, we're not going to come in by 1 inch, we'll just do our normal 1 inch slant, and I'm just from there just going to slant it all the way. I'm going to find the midpoint and then just make a very smooth curve, just like that. So guys, next thing we're going to do, we're going to measure our neck as usual, 3 inches width. And for the back, I'll just be coming down by 1 inch. You can come down by 1.5 or 2. I'm coming down by 1 inch, just like that. I'm going to unconnect my shoulders, and I'm going to add my 1/2 inch sewing allowance for my shoulder. Now for my zip allowance, to reduce the bulginess at the back, at the waist I go out or in by 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to slant it all the way upward, like you see me do, just like that. And next thing we're going to do is just to cut out our back pattern. So guys, this is how to draft a princess armhole that bustier. I hope this was very helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you.